What's good, guys? Welcome back to another video. Just looking at the markets real quick before I get into the video, I see opportunities basically spread out across the board. And right now you've got, like 3 or 4, maybe 5 assets on Forex that are all printing a signal right now. Bitcoin is also pretty interesting right now. And so, yeah, I'm going to get into a few more charts today than usual, but it's for a good reason because today is one of those, I don't know, everything looks pretty good so far. And yeah, without any further ado, let's dive right into it. We're going to start things off though from yesterday. Now, the Bitcoin trade yesterday ultimately ended up being a loss, at least for me, based on what I've called on the video. And, I ended up taking the trade as well. The scenario that we were looking for happened exactly as we wanted it to, right? Price hitting this level at a key timing zone, followed by a CISD. This was all happening around that kind of 9:30 through 10 a.m. kind of mark. Once the CISD happened, entered the trade, obviously, and ended up getting stopped out, which at the end of the day, it's perfectly fine, right? We planned the trade and then we traded the plan and ultimately it didn't work out. That's not really a problem that we need to fix. It's just, if we have a 50% win rate, then that just happens to be the other 50% of, losses. Perfectly normal. It was a quality setup, just didn't end up playing out. But something that did end up playing out though was a trade on Euro that we called yesterday on the Blueprint call. If you guys are in Blueprint, drop a comment down below. We took this trade live and we almost got shaken out, but ultimately we ended up hitting the full TP. Right now Euro is still dumping and there is another trade setup on Euro today, so don't miss it. But now let's get into the actual video. We're going to start things off on Bitcoin because, well, name of the channel is still the art of crypto. So let's start things off there. So Bitcoin, you have a bullish daily bias. Now, so far you have confirmed that bearish CISD, which makes, going long kind of sketchy in the sense that, okay, let's say if we start looking for a long right now, technically on the daily chart we've already kind of confirmed bearishness, and so if we go long, it's kind of like a 50-50, which is why I'm going to go on a whim and say that the other opportunities on Forex today that I'm going to give you are going to be much more straightforward, and probably chances are they're going to have a much higher probability of playing out as well, purely because right now you can kind of make an argument for both sides of the equation on Bitcoin where, overall, yes, you're pumping, but you have just gotten the first sign of kind of bearishness. You've got a potential kind of heads and shoulders pattern going on. And more importantly than that is if we zoom out, right? This was something that I mentioned with the Blueprint guys yesterday on the call, but we're going to share a bit of a macro perspective on Bitcoin, because one of the reasons that I was able to basically sell close to the top, at least on Bitcoin at 100K, was that I waited for the weekly chart to show me signs. In this case, there was 2 CISDs over there. And by the way, feel free to go back to my videos from back then and you will see the amount of bearish videos that I made during that time. Just basically hey guys, just go short. So I'm definitely not pulling this out of my ass right now. So understand that the reason why I was able to sell this right here is because I identified that, okay, there was CISD. Secondly, you're coming back into a PD array on the weekly chart. But since then, you've kind of been, going back to a downtrend, and this downtrend is not over yet until at the very least, you overtake, you overcome 93, 95,000-ish. At the very least, once you get a kind of close above here, we can start to discuss, okay, maybe the bear market's over and maybe we start getting back in. But for now, until proven otherwise, you are right now breaking market structure, followed by coming back into some sort of higher time frame PD array. And even if you were to go higher, you have another bearish order block over there. And thirdly, right now, you've still got a liquidity target that you have not taken yet, right? Which is at 50K. So if you're looking to buy the dip right now, this would not be one of those opportunities. If anything, this looks more of an opportunity for you to dive into a swing short, to take advantage of a move from where we are right now, which is 80K, and to take advantage of, a movement all the way down to 50K, because this is kind of how it's looking like at the moment. Just from the macro perspective, tying back into what we're doing on an intraday basis, yeah, could be too zoomed out to matter, but you still got to keep that in mind. And hence, for this reason, Bitcoin being, you can make an argument that, okay, for today we should go long, but you can also make an argument that, okay, you should go short. I'm just going to the 1 hour chart to see if there is anything, different kind of developing. Yes, we've got a bullish CISD. We're also kind of in a bearish CISD at the moment. And so far, London has swept below the Asia lows. And so far, you have gotten a bullish CISD. So what I'm going to say is that most likely, right, if you're looking to get into a trade on Bitcoin, right, if you do believe that, this is going towards the upside, right now you've retraced back into the 50% line of a, fib. And right now you've still got relatively equal lows right up top. So in the event that we dive into a long here, you ideally want to look for some sort of a sweep, or heck, it's even better if you don't end up sweeping, because you already have a CISD towards the upside. Right now, you just need price to just continue towards the upside. And you want to look for this to happen in between the hours of 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Why 7 to 10? Because today we don't have news, right? On a usual day, we could kind of narrow this down to okay, news is going to be at 9 a.m. So we're going to start trading from 8 and we're going to stop trading at 10. But today we don't have news, so we're just going to take the general, New York kill zone. So like, yeah, you're just going to look for new bullish order blocks and new bullish fair value gaps and whatever to form during the New York session. And then you're going to just momentum trade this towards the upside. But again, like if I had the opportunity, or like if I had the option, I would try to avoid Bitcoin. It's just not, I don't know, like this is not one of those things that I would trade, purely because I have better opportunities out there. Let me show you this right now on Euro. So Euro is dumping like really hard right now, and like you're still going towards the downtrend. And in terms of the 1 hourly chart, you are having very clear bearish VDRAs and bearish order blocks. Heck, like even London would have been the time to take a trade on Euro, like coming back into this order block and a boom, right? Straight to the downside. Right now, you're leaving behind another order block. So the setup for today on Euro, retrace back into here, continuation towards the downside. You're targeting 2R into 3R in this case, because like the daily target is really quite far away from where price currently is. And if you can get a 2R trade on Euro today, just on a, simple momentum trade where, the trend is already confirmed and right now you're just kind of riding that train. Perfect, right? Simple, no headache. And this is, the type of trading that we like to look for. Euro, that's going to be, option number 1 for you today. Now gold, as you'll kind of start to see, is going to be very reminiscent to Euro, right? You're in a downtrend. Right now, you've already retraced into the order block. So it's as simple as looking for a short towards the downside. And right now you're kind of retraced, depending on when you watch this video, like again, just take newly formed 5-minute order blocks and fair value gaps and whatnot, and just target for 2R. Or if you go zoom out onto the higher time frame, you'll see that this is going to be a low that price is currently reaching for at 4,500, which there is a very high probability that we are going to touch this today. So that will be kind of the intraday target. That's what I would go for. Now, as you'll kind of realize, this is a little bit different compared to the NASDAQ, where you have a bullish daily bias, but then price is currently looking a lot like gold and Euro. So in this case, I would prioritize gold and Euro over NASDAQ, because right now this is against the daily bias. And besides that, we're going to look at USD Canadian, where we have a bullish daily bias and price is obviously being really strong at the moment. And if you go down into the 1 hourly chart, you will start to see that you have, well, you're about to form, right? Potentially you're about to form a new bullish order block in about 37 minutes. Once this candle closes, then if you get this bullish order block, retrace here, go up. Out of the 3 options that we've kind of discussed today, I'd say USD Canadian is probably your best bet, in the sense that, this hasn't really taken off yet. In terms of Euro, like obviously it's already flying, and in terms of gold, it's kind of ready to fly, but like this is still in the middle of confirming a bullish order block. And even if you just zoom out on the 1 hourly chart, like yeah, order flow is very clearly bullish. And so like this would be the opportunity that I would kind of focus on for today. And lastly, this is not going to be relevant for today, but if you're a swing trader, and if you're watching this, I want you to get prepared for, what may be about to come for oil. And I say may because this is not confirmed yet. If you take a look at oil, right now, the price is having some sort of a reversal. Right now, you're still in some sort of a higher time frame, kind of resistance zone. So you have 1 impulse up, 2, 3, and maybe 4 moves towards the upside. Right now, if you get a move that breaks structure, right? If you get a CISD, this is known as something called the market maker sell model, where you are coming like 3 to 4 impulses into some sort of a higher time frame kind of resistance level, followed by a full-on reversal targeting these lows over here. So for the swing traders out there, I think oil is going to be one of your better bets out of so many charts that we have going on at the moment. But otherwise, I'm going to be posting any trades that I do take on the Twitter. And if you'd like to work with us, where we are going to take you from where you are right now to 100K funded within the next 3 to 4 months, feel free to click the first link in the description box below and book a call. And absolutely no pressure. You don't need to buy, like even if we just kind of diagnose exactly what problems it is that you're having and kind of give you a solution. So that's going to be a pretty productive call. But otherwise, I'll see you guys next week. And like, yeah, what a beautiful sunset, by the way. It's good to be back. It's good to be back in Korea.